John, you won't believe what happened this week. Something happened about home values that really kind of blew me away.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll have to tell us that story. But first,
But I can't tell it now.
no, let's wait till the end. A
Okay.
little teaser.
Okay.
So, speaking of home values, we've been talking a lot about that lately. Can renovations and improvements increase the value of a home?
Absolutely. People go in, when buyers go in to look at their home, a potential home, we'll call it a potential home, they're calculating in their brains, what am I going to have to do to this house to fix it the way that I want it? So if the bathrooms, the kitchen have old tile, old cabinets, old fixtures, they're going to sit there and go, okay, well, that's going to run me about, and they start throwing these numbers out. Well, what that instantly does, that starts to bring down the value of your home.
Oh, they take that off the value of the home?
Yeah, that's what their brains are working that way, right? Whether it is or whether it isn't, that's how the consumer's brain works.
Okay.
Okay, so if you have a house that has brand new kitchen in it, okay, and every renovation's different, okay? We have renovations that the house is built, I'll just use my house as an example, 1990, and it wasn't original when I bought it, but 8 years ago, it had been upgraded 10 years before that.
So it really wasn't upgraded?
It wasn't currently upgraded
to today's standards.
So some people say, oh, it's been renovated 10 years ago. Well, what was good 10 years ago and what was appealing to the buyer is not necessarily what's good today.
Okay, so renovations and improvements can affect the value of a home.
Absolutely.
What can affect the value of the home in a negative way?
If the house is dirty. If the house
probably
is
the biggest one.
Yeah, when I go to a house and the first thing I tell my buyers, I said, I look at the outside of the house. Is the yard kept up? Is the front porch swept and cleaned off? I'm crazy about this. I love an edged lawn. Drives me nuts when I see a house that doesn't have an edged lawn.
It's kind of the old first impression thing. When they see a house that's well kept outside, they have a good attitude and things tend to go a lot better inside.
You have an instant positive when you see the house on the outside that they call it the curb appeal that looks just really nice. And when I used to run restaurants, that's what we were taught to do. When you pull into a parking lot of a restaurant, you're going in to eat food, right? So you go in to eat food and the parking lot's dirty and nasty and has garbage and there's gum on the sidewalks and this and that, right? It's the same darn concept.
Okay.
So just small things like having the yard manicured and stuff and bushes trimmed makes a huge difference.
I think we're going to do a whole video on getting your home ready to sell in a couple weekends for less than $300-400.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
How about home staging?
Oh my.
What does that do? And actually define what you're talking about home staging, how it relates here. I mean, you see some of these shows like Selling OC and they have these people come in and do furniture and all this stuff. Do we see that much here?
Well, we do see that. We do. We've got homes that are on a little more upper end. I'd even say 600,000, and they're empty. And the stagers will come in and they will stage them, and they always look very nice. I just saw one the other day. It was amazing. However, staging isn't always about paying, $1,500, $1,700, $2,300
a month.
Well, yeah, pretty much a month to have your house staged. A good agent will walk a house with you, and I basically say, here's a clipboard. Don't take your notes. Don't take it personal, okay? We always keep our house different than what we sell our house for, right?
Sure.
So I will walk the house and I will tell them what they need to do, whether it's remove things off the countertops, whether it's taking personal pictures off a wall, too much clutter. I said, God made you a garage, use it.
Move furniture out or in?
Less is better, guys.
Yeah.
They need to see the square footage of the buying. If they can't see the square footage and you've got so much stuff in the house, it's going to deter them. And again, we go back to now it's a negative. Okay, so that's a big deal for me. Every house that I list, I actually walk those houses and we do that with them.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So what about things like towels in the bathroom or flowers, whether they're fresh or whether they're like those, bowls of fruit, color, anything like
color.
that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, again, so let's just take a kitchen. Okay, when we live in our house, again, we have a bunch of stuff all over the counter because we eat, we cook, we do all those things, right? But when we're selling, we put less on those countertops, but we always want to put a pop of color. Whether it's like a bowl of fruit, whether it's clean dish towels hanging, any of that, like when I was staging, because I would stage, when I was staging, I always make sure the key elements were to make sure that kitchen looked like I wanted to come in and cook. I wanted to eat in there, right? And I always had just a little bit of color. Neutral's great, but just a small little bit of color goes a long way.
So one of the things as we talk about value for homes, we talk a lot about neighborhoods or areas, but the phrase we hear a lot is desirable neighborhood.
Oh my
What
goodness.
is a desirable neighborhood?
Well, let's see. I can only give an example for here.
Okay.
A desirable neighborhood for a lot of people would be Clovis Unified School District.
Okay.
Okay, that's considered a desirable neighborhood. Maybe you need to be close to shopping. Maybe you only have one car and you share it. Not living 40 minutes away from all the conveniences may not be a desirable neighborhood for you. However, if you've got a couple horses and you like to be out in the country, then again, that might be a desirable neighborhood.
So it's really a desirable neighborhood could be a lot of things to a lot of different people.
Absolutely. There's a long list, okay? Yeah.
Okay. So if you were going to spend some money, let's say you're not even thinking about selling. You want to update your home.
Okay.
And you're thinking about the resale value. What rooms should you spend your money in? Where's the value in a home in renovation?
Well, let's go to health and safety issues first.
Okay.
So to me, your roof is a necessity, right? That's an upgrade. You put a brand new roof on, that's an upgrade, and it's a costly upgrade. We just had one done. An estimate was $12,000 on a 1,200 square foot home. So the prices went up. So that's a big deal. So your roof, I always look at the big things. Do you have dual or triple pane windows in your home? That's also, everything is energy efficient. So when you go to put those items in your home, it can cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at things like that first. However, then once I get past those big ticket items, a kitchen is the number one.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you're going to see. It's the first thing your guests are going to see. You spend a lot of time in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning too, right? But your kitchen is your number one. And then your bathrooms after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those two rooms, kitchen and bathroom. If you're going to spend some money, spend some money.
Spend some money on those arenas and price it out. Doesn't have to be. Just remember one thing, you guys. When you have a house that's a $400,000 house, do not upgrade it like it's an $800,000 house. You will never get that money back out of it.
Very true.
Yeah.
So what's the how do values in a neighborhood change, and how do they change? I'll say quickly, either up or down. But what would cause them to change?
Is this where I can tell my story?
You can tell your story now because I know the story.
Okay, so he knows the story. So we have, and I'll just go with the story right now because it's amazing how different areas of the same town can change dramatically from maybe an area that's, say, 6 or 7 blocks from you, okay? So this house in particular, I met with the clients about 3 months ago. Sat down, looked over everything, analyzed their house. Very nice, clean home. Now, they upgraded the floors, but they didn't upgrade anything else. Roof was upgraded. They have a great roof on it, dual pane windows in the floors. So those are their upgrades, okay? Beautiful Pebble Tech pool in the backyard, right? But the kitchen's not upgraded, neither are the bathrooms, okay? So at that moment, we were right around, I'd say, between 500,000 and 510.
This is about 3 months ago.
About 3 months ago. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,900 square feet.
In a desirable neighborhood.
In a desirable neighborhood. People love this neighborhood, okay?
937.
11, and that's all I'll tell you, okay? So we've been out looking for them the right home because they're retired and they want to find that home that they can stay in for a long, long time, right? So we're out looking. So as we're looking, we're watching the homes in that particular area go on the market. And as they're going on the market, each one is going a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher.
When you say a little bit, how much?
Well, the first couple went about 20,000 higher.
Oh.
Okay.
Did they actually sell at that?
And yes, they did.
Oh.
Okay. So we thought, oh, great, more money in my seller's pocket.
Were they nicer? Same?
One not so nice, one equivalent,
Okay.
I'd say, okay? So, but they are a Craycroft home, which is a very well respected builder in our community. The home was built, I believe, in '89. So that little community over there with all those homes, people really do like that builder. So all of a sudden, now we've watched this, right? And all of a sudden, there are two homes that pop up. Now, right now, I'm probably at that moment, I was ready to list it if we were ready to go about 525, maybe. Okay. And all of a sudden, these two other houses come up. Okay, now one is about 80 square feet larger, completely renovated. When I tell you currently renovated, it's beautiful.
Kitchen,
Okay?
bathrooms,
All of it,
floors.
all of it. There's just, you can move in and just not do a thing. Okay, so that went on the market for about 579. Okay. I have a conversation with the agent, which we all should help each other out, like when we're calling, which was really nice. And so I had a conversation with her. It'd been in it. She got 8 offers
In what period of time?
in 4 days. Okay, so here she's got this house where we think it's supposed to be right around at the last time I checked, 525, 530. Okay, all of a sudden this house is like 40 grand more, 50 grand more, and I'm going, what the heck's going on? Well, guess what happens? A all cash buyer comes in of one of those 8 offers. Now, keep in mind too, all of the offers were over except for one. So that goes to show you what happens when you renovate your home nicely, okay? But they took an all cash offer of 592. 592,000.
So now that's going to show as a comp for one of your homes, a good comp.
A good comp.
Now you'll have to figure out what the difference in value from the upgrades to your home is, but
Exactly. But that at least pulls my house back up at least another 20 grand.
at least. Yeah.
So in 3 months, we have like all of a sudden gone. I mean, I haven't done the math on it, guys, but that's an amazing difference. But it also shows, and it'll close like that. It's closing April 20th, and she said no appraisal's going to be done. It's 592. They've already removed their contingencies. Inspections done.
So if that closes now, you got a 592 in the
I got a
neighborhood.
592.
So can the same thing happen in the other direction?
Sure, absolutely.
So if you get a foreclosure, back in the day, short sales would drive those down.
They can. They will take that into consideration when they're doing the value. But yeah, if you've got a couple homes, say you had somebody that just wanted to sell their house quickly, they took the first buyer that comes in, because it happens sometimes. They had to be out of here quickly. You could get lower, and it could have went that way. But I will tell you, I have not seen something jump up quite like this in a while.
Yeah, well, and it appears as you watch, and I know you do, and I do as well. We watch sales quite a bit.
Yeah.
And there's 2 types of homes right now: homes that sell really fast, and homes that sell, I'm not going to say not as fast, very slowly.
Right.
And it seems like the ones that sell the fastest for over asking are, I'll say, completely renovated. That can mean a lot of different things, but updated, modern, move-in ready, and priced correctly in desirable neighborhoods.
And desirable neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so let me ask you something. We're going to venture off. That was my story. I just couldn't believe it. We're still.
This happened today or yesterday?
That happened yesterday. So we're really like, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen when we do put that house on the market. And it'll probably go on in about 7 to 10 days, it looks like. So that was just kind of interesting. If you go to another area of town, that may not happen. So that's just it. A lot of people want to live in this area, which makes it desirable, right? So, and then when you have that supply and demand, I mean, look at the house, 8 offers.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. So, but you know, we have to look at things too. Like people ask us about renovations. How about solar? Will solar increase your value of your home?
Well, they say it will.
Who says it will, John?
Somebody does. They. the they. So if it's not owned and no payment, it really doesn't do anything for your value.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Solar depreciates very quickly, a little bit like a pool.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so let's say you buy solar and you pay it off, which I probably would never do. Just
It's his personal opinion.
different
Okay.
story.
Yeah.
what the appraiser has to do is find similar homes that had owned solar and
Right.
find out what the differences are. Well, that's hard because most of the solar is not owned.
Yeah.
It's purchased, but there's a balance on it,
Yeah.
or it's a lease or a power purchase agreement.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what I tell my clients, unless they think it's their forever home, I tell them power purchase agreement, because now they don't sink all that money. Let's say they move in 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, they've just sunk all that money in the house that they're not going to get back.
They won't get
They
it
won't get
back.
back.
No. And like you said, it depreciates. So it's kind of like buying a car.
Yeah. And it's easy
You know?
for people to go buy solar with nothing out of their pocket and have the same advantage.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, a lot of solar people will tell you that's added value,
Yeah.
and that's why you hire a real estate agent to help guide you with things like that. So one of the things that I read the other day was that if a home is in a desirable neighborhood, it's ready to move into, it's just really got all the bells and whistles, that those are staying on the market less than 30 days. Is that about right?
I believe
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay. Anything other, because we've seen houses that are just sitting there. So we just really wanted to talk to you guys about the value, what's the important part of value, what kind of money you should put in your home or shouldn't, because and lots like John said, if you're going to stand it forever, you go do what you want to that house.
And then if it becomes out of style, you've enjoyed your upgrade.
You've enjoyed it, right? But if you're gonna want your home to sell fast, number one, it better be clean. That's that's the first and foremost. So your yard, the inside of your home. Let me give you a little tidbit. We look at baseboards, okay? But one little thing that we look at that we're really determined, so you guys can all look at this, okay, after I say it. Windowsills. If you're
And door tracks.
and door tracks. If your home has not been kept up and cleaned, even if you did a once over and it looks clean when we walk in, we'll know you haven't cleaned it because the window sills and the door tracks are dirty.
very
So
true.
there's your little bit of information, your little tidbit today, for cleaning that house before it's ready to go. But we are going to talk about how to get your house ready.
Yeah, I think that'll be next
Yeah,
week.
but your values are still there, guys. We live in Fresno County, and our values are holding strong. We are still low on inventory. So just know that if you have any questions at all for us when it comes to the value, that you can contact John or myself.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're going to put a link below this video if you would like a home valuation, or if you want someone to walk through and say these are the things you should do. Maybe this is how best to stage it or get stuff out.
Right.
We'd be happy to do that. We'll put that link in the description down below.
Yeah, and John comes cheap. All you got to do is give him a cup of coffee, and you've got him, okay? So, just had to throw that in there.
And as always, please like and subscribe and share this video with anybody who you think might benefit from it. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, John.